Case 1. Chloe Coplen-Anderson Case. Gordon, Nebraska, a town where everyone knows your name and secrets are hard to keep. In this peaceful community, 16-year-old Chloe Coplen-Anderson led a seemingly ordinary life. A high school student with a love for art and animals, Chloe's world was about to shatter. Behind closed doors, she faced unimaginable trauma, sexual abuse, mental health struggles, and a pregnancy that no one knew about. The weight of her circumstances remained hidden until one fateful night. On November 6, 2023, Chloe gave birth alone in her bedroom. In a moment of overwhelming despair, she retrieved a kitchen knife and ended her newborn son's life. Her parents, initially unaware, discovered the aftermath. Her mother, in a tearful confession, revealed the truth. The knife was later found hidden in Chloe's closet, stained with blood, a chilling testament to the act. Authorities were alerted, and the Gordon Police Department, alongside the Nebraska State Patrol, launched an investigation. Chloe's mother identified her as the perpetrator, and the bloody knife was recovered. The community was stunned. How could this happen in their quiet town? The media descended, and the public grappled with the horror of the crime. In August 2024, Chloe pled no contest to second-degree murder. Prosecutors dropped charges of child abuse resulting in death and use of a deadly weapon. Her defense highlighted her traumatic past: sexual assault at 15, ongoing abuse, and untreated mental health issues. The courtroom was divided. Some saw her as a victim of circumstance, others a cold-blooded killer. The judge, acknowledging her time served, sentenced her to 35 to 60 years in prison. Chloe's sentence was a stark reminder of the consequences of untreated trauma. At 18, she faced decades behind bars, with the possibility of release at 51. The community was left to reconcile the girl they thought they knew with the woman who had committed an unthinkable act. Chloe's case raises profound questions. How did a young girl surrounded by family fall through the cracks? What does it say about a society that failed to protect her? The case sparked debates on mental health, child abuse, and the responsibilities of adults to intervene. It serves as a tragic reminder that silence can be deadly, and that sometimes the most dangerous secrets are the ones we choose to ignore. Case 2. Christie Parisien and Jaslyn Smith. In the serene suburban town of Miramar, Florida, the halls of Miramar High School echoed with the typical sounds of teenage life: laughter, gossip, and the hum of everyday drama. Among the students were Christie Parisien, 20, and Jaslyn Smith, 19, both seemingly ordinary young women navigating the complexities of adolescence. Their lives, however, would soon intertwine in a way that would forever alter their futures and the community they called home. Andre Clements, 20, a classmate and former boyfriend to one of the girls, harbored deep resentment after learning that Dwight DJ Grant, 18, had become romantically involved with his ex-girlfriend. This jealousy festered, leading Clements to hatch a deadly plan. On October 17, 2021, under the guise of a casual meeting, Christy lured DJ into an empty stairwell at their apartment complex. There, Clements and Smith ambushed him. Surveillance footage captured the harrowing scene. DJ was restrained while Clements fatally stabbed him with a sword and knife. The trio then attempted to cover their tracks by cleaning the scene and disposing of evidence. The investigation into DJ's disappearance quickly turned into a murder inquiry. Detectives uncovered incriminating text messages between the suspects, including one from Clements stating, "Murder will definitely happen soon," and another from Christy expressing willingness to assist. Surveillance footage further corroborated the sequence of events leading to the arrest of the three teens. In August 2024, Christy and Jaslyn pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and conspiracy to commit murder. Both were sentenced to 25 years in prison, followed by 10 years of probation. Clements, who maintained his innocence, faced trial in early 2025. The courtroom was filled with the grief of DJ's family, who expressed their profound loss and the irreplaceable void left by his death. Clements was ultimately convicted and sentenced to 40 years in prison. The sentences for all three defendants were a somber reminder of the consequences of unchecked jealousy and the fragility of young lives. DJ's tragic death prompted a wave of reflection within the Miramar community. The case highlighted the dangers of emotional turmoil and the importance of addressing conflicts constructively. It also sparked discussions about the pressures faced by teenagers and the need for better support systems. While the legal proceedings have concluded, the emotional scars remain, serving as a poignant reminder of the devastating impact of a senseless act of violence. Case 3. Sierra Halseth. In the serene suburbs of Las Vegas, Daniel Halseth, a 45-year-old father, lived a peaceful life with his 16-year-old daughter, Sierra. Their home was a place of comfort and routine, untouched by the chaos that would soon unfold. Sierra, a seemingly ordinary teenager, had a close bond with her father. However, her relationship with 18-year-old Aaron Guerrero, a former boyfriend, had been a source of tension. Despite their parents' disapproval and a previous breakup, Sierra and Aaron rekindled their relationship, leading to a tragic decision. On April 9, 2021, Daniel Halseth was brutally murdered in his own home. The crime scene was horrific. Daniel had been stabbed over 70 times, his body dismembered with a chainsaw and circular saw, and then set on fire in the garage. Sierra and Aaron fled the scene, taking Daniel's car and heading to Salt Lake City. A chilling video surfaced shortly after, showing the teens laughing and discussing the murder, with Aaron saying, "Welcome to our YouTube channel, day 3 after murdering somebody." Sierra responded, "Whoa, don't put that on camera." The investigation into Daniel's death began when his landlord discovered the burned body in the garage. Authorities quickly pieced together evidence, including surveillance footage of the teens leaving the neighborhood in Daniel's car, and receipts for items like bleach, lighter fluid, gloves, and cleaning cloths purchased before the murder. A video of Sierra and Aaron discussing the murder was also found, providing crucial evidence of their involvement. The teens were eventually apprehended in Salt Lake City and extradited back to Las Vegas. Sierra and Aaron faced multiple charges, including murder, arson, and robbery. In court, Sierra read a letter alleges sexual abuse and harassment by her father, describing him as a drug addict and a pedophile. Aaron expressed remorse, apologizing to the victim's family and stating that Daniel didn't deserve to pass in such a horrible way. The defense argued that the murder was a result of emotional distress, while the prosecution highlighted the brutal nature of the crime and the premeditation involved. On October 20, 2022, Sierra and Aaron were each sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 22 years. The court considered their ages and the circumstances surrounding the crime in determining the sentence. The victim's family expressed their grief and the profound impact of Daniel's death on their lives. The murder of Daniel Halseth by his own daughter and her boyfriend shocked the Las Vegas community and raised questions about parental control, teenage relationships, and the signs of potential violence. The case highlighted the importance of open communication and the need for vigilance in recognizing troubling behaviors in adolescence. It serves as a somber reminder of the potential for tragedy even in seemingly peaceful setting. Case 4. Natasha Ellis. In the quiet town of New Carlisle, Ohio, life unfolded with a gentle rhythm. The streets were lined with modest homes, and neighbors exchanged pleasantries during morning walks. Among the residents was Natasha Ellis, a 16-year-old girl known for her reserved demeanor. She was a friend of a 13-year-old girl, Janice, whose parents disapproved of their friendship. This disapproval planted seeds of resentment and a desire for revenge. On a fateful evening in May 2019, the tension between the two girls reached its breaking point. They devised a plan to eliminate Janice's parents. Ellis entered the home on North Church Street and, with a knife, fatally stabbed Lee A. Moore, Janice's mother, and injured 2 others. The attack was swift and brutal, leaving the community in shock. The authorities responded promptly. Ellis, wearing yellow rubber gloves, was found at the scene and immediately taken into custody. During questioning, she admitted to the crime, stating that she believed Janice's family was abusive and that this was the only solution. The case garnered significant media attention, highlighting the involvement of a teenager in such a heinous act. Ellis was indicted on charges of aggravated murder, attempted murder, and felonious assault. The prosecution presented a case that underscored the premeditated nature of the crime. The defense argued for leniency, citing Ellis's age and the influence of her friendship with Janice. The courtroom was filled with tension as both sides presented their arguments. In a landmark decision, Ellis was tried as an adult and pleaded guilty to murder and attempted murder charges. She was sentenced to 22 years in prison. The community was divided. Some felt justice was served, while others believed the sentence was too harsh for a teenager. The case of Natasha Ellis raised profound questions about juvenile justice and the capacity of young individuals to commit grave offenses. It sparked debates about the influence of peer relationships and the responsibility of parents in monitoring their children's associations. The tragedy left an indelible mark on New Carlisle, serving as a somber reminder of how deeply personal grievances can escalate into irreversible actions. Case 5. Janine Gonzalez. In the suburban calm of Beaufort, Georgia, life proceeded without incident. Ashley Bocanegra, a 30-year-old mother, lived a modest life, balancing work and motherhood. Unbeknownst to her, her romantic involvement with Daniel Gonzalez, a man already in a relationship with Antonetta Stevens, would lead to a tragic confrontation. Daniel's sister, 17-year-old Janine Gonzalez, and Antonetta Stevens, 27, devised a plan to confront Ashley, luring her to an apartment complex under false pretenses. On August 11, 2022, Ashley arrived at the designated location believing she was meeting Daniel. Instead, she was ambushed by Antonetta and Janine. The two women physically assaulted Ashley, dragging her by the hair and delivering multiple blows. The attack was recorded on video, capturing the brutality of the assault. Ashley was left with severe injuries and later died in the hospital. Gwinnett County Police initiated an investigation, uncovering the love triangle involving Daniel, Antonetta, and Ashley. The motive for the attack was rooted in jealousy and betrayal. Antonetta and Janine were arrested and charged with aggravated battery, robbery, and felony murder. The case garnered significant media attention, highlighting the dangers of unresolved conflicts and the consequences of violent actions. During the trial, both Antonetta and Janine were found guilty of their respective charges. The prosecution presented evidence, including the recorded footage of the assault and testimonies detailing the events leading up to the crime. The defense argued for leniency, citing the emotional turmoil experienced by the defendants. However, the court emphasized the severity of the crime and the loss of life. Both women were sentenced to 20 years in prison. The court's decision to convict Antonetta and Janine was met with mixed reactions. Some believed the sentences were too lenient, while others felt they were appropriate given the circumstances. The community was left grappling with the senseless loss of a life and the impact of the crime on all involved. Ashley's family expressed their grief, while the defendants faced the consequences of their actions. The tragic death of Ashley Bocanegra serves as a stark reminder of the destructive power of jealousy and unresolved conflicts. It raises questions about the extent to which personal grievances can escalate into violence and the importance of addressing emotional issues constructively. The case underscores the need for open communication and conflict resolution to prevent such tragedies. As the community continues to heal, the legacy of Ashley's life and untimely death prompts reflection on the choices that lead to irreversible outcomes. Case 6. Trinity Shockley. In Mooresville, Indiana, a quiet town where the rhythm of daily life is unbroken. Mooresville High School stands as a symbol of tradition and community. Among its students is Trinity Shockley, an 18-year-old senior known for her reserved demeanor. Outwardly, she appears as any other teenager, attending classes, engaging with friends, and navigating the complexities of adolescence. However, beneath this facade lies a mind grappling with deep-seated turmoil and a fascination with infamy. On February 13, 2025, authorities arrested Trinity Shockley for allegedly planning a mass shooting at Mooresville High School. The plot, dubbed Parkland Part 2, was intended to coincide with the 7th anniversary of the Parkland tragedy. Shockley reportedly admired Nicholas Cruz, the Parkland shooter, and had expressed intentions to emulate his actions. The plan was thwarted following a tip from the FBI's Sandy Hook Promise Say Something anonymous reporting system, which led to a search of Shockley's home and the discovery of disturbing materials. The investigation revealed that Shockley had been planning the attack for over a year. Authorities uncovered a collage of mass shooters, including Cruz and Dylan Roof, in her bedroom. Additionally, notebooks filled with violent imagery and messages were found. Shockley had also engaged in online conversations detailing her plans and expressing admiration for infamous shooters. Charged with conspiracy to commit murder and 2 counts of intimidation with the threat to commit terrorism, Shockley's trial became a focal point for discussions on mental health, gun violence, and the influence of social media. The prosecution presented evidence of her detailed plans and online communications, while the defense questioned the reliability of the evidence and the extent of her intent. The court proceedings concluded with Shockley being held without bond, pending further psychological evaluations. The community remained divided, with some viewing her as a misguided individual in need of help, while others saw her actions as a serious threat that could have resulted in tragedy. The case of Trinity Shockley serves as a stark reminder of the complexities surrounding youth, mental health, and societal influences. It raises critical questions about the role of online communities in shaping behaviors and the importance of early intervention. While the immediate threat was averted, the underlying issues persist, urging society to reflect on how to address and prevent such incidents in the future.